Ahoy! And welcome into the Junk Drawer part of the Cork Bats Podcast Network. Today is September 9th, 2023. I'm Kenny from Cork Bats, one of the new faces of the Junk Drawer Podcast. And I'm joined, of course, by my good friend Tom. Tom, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you. And I'm also joined by my good friend Mob. Mob, how are you?
Howdy!
Yeah. Hey, if you're new to the Junk Drawer or simply forgot what it is, it's the official catch-all podcast of Cork Bats. We pretty much just talk about anything. We figured, hey, now's a good time to revive it. Football season is in full swing. And we just kind of wanted a chance to talk about whatever. If you know us, if you're familiar with Cork Bats podcast, we actually host the Cineboys podcast as well, which is Cork Bats' longest running consecutive podcast. Is it the most popular one? No. But we're technically the longest running. But enough about the Cineboys. This is the Junk Drawer. We're just here to have a good time. The three of us are going to get to our regular segment of the Junk Drawer, which is good, back, and ugly. But first, Mob, name a woman.
Jennifer Coolidge.
All right. Tom, name a woman.
Margot Robbie.
All right. Got it. Guys, we're doing great. I believe we have a caller on the line as well.
We do.
Caller, can you... Mob, are you screening the calls?
We have caller Kevin on the line. Caller Kevin.
Hi, long time caller, first time listener here, Butt Soup. Just a quick question for the fellas. If a penguin and a flamingo were to do battle on a neutral field, just wondering who you guys think would win. I'll hang up and listen.
Thanks, Butt Soup.
Butt Soup did just hang up. The correct answer to this question is penguin.
I was gonna say penguin.
I disagree. I think flamingo.
Kenny,
Flamingo's I don't stick legs.
Yeah, but they got longer reach.
I don't think you understand the amount of research I've done on this question.
That's sad.
No, it's needed and necessary. This has been a lifelong debate between the other Cineboy who must. I don't know if he knows Butt Soup. Kevin Keith. We've been fighting about this for a while. So the right answer is penguin. Lower center of gravity.
Yeah,
flamingos only weigh like 5-6 pounds. Like they're light as hell. So,
I guarantee they weigh more than 5 or 6.
They are cotton balls
Kenneth,
on a stick.
I have researched this.
I guarantee they weigh at least 25 pounds. There's no doubt in my mind that a flamingo weighs more than that.
We will probably never know.
Well, there's no way to find out.
There's no way to.
Average weights are between 4 to 8 pounds.
What?
Yeah, get out of here, Kenny. I've researched this.
I'm just thinking about just like size. Like I've seen flamingos in person. They're not the smallest bird.
Right, but like have you also seen stuffed animals that are huge and you pick them up, they're like 2 pounds?
How much does a chicken weigh?
I haven't
4 pounds.
I've never been asked who wins in a fight, a chicken or a penguin.
I'm not asking who wins in a fight. I'm asking
but like
what
why
bird
would
weighs more?
But like, why would I have researched this for this particular question? The reason I know this about flamingos is because this has been a fight in my life for I don't know how long, and I've researched it to come up with the conclusion that penguins are the winners.
Okay. The average adult chicken weighs between 5 and 10 pounds, which makes sense to me. I've held a chicken.
Balls of feathers.
Yeah, have you held a flamingo?
I've never held a flamingo.
Yeah, so what you don't know what you're talking about.
But flamingos are bigger.
Okay.
Wild to me. Well, I mean, you're learning it here on the Junk Drawer podcast. What weighs more, a chicken or flamingo? I would have said flamingo, but the average weight of a chicken is technically more. That's wild to me.
Fascinating stuff.
Fascinating stuff. So yeah, again, if you are new to the Junk Drawer podcast or it's been a while, essentially what we do here is we kind of go through our good, our backs, and our ugly. We talk about what's good, we talk about what's back, and we talk about what's ugly and what we've noticed in the world of sports, in the world of movies, TV, in the world of everything, just in the world. We're just going to talk about what's good, back, and ugly. So we'll just go ahead and get started with it, with our goods of the week. And we'll start with Mob. Mob, what is your good of the week?
My good is we got the an intro trailer, not an intro trailer, just a trailer announcing the Manicast is back.
Yeah.
And one, the trailer was insanely awesome. So many famous people, so many football people, and it was just very well done. And I, for one, if it's not my team playing on Monday night, as much as I love Joe Buck and Troy Aikman as announcers, I'm watching the Manning cast.
Yeah.
Because it's highly entertaining. Those two know what they're doing. So, yeah, just this preview gave me like, yes, we're getting it back. It's just, I'm excited for it.
There's like 4 or 5 moments. It's a 7-minute long video. I thought it was going to be like 2 minutes. And then I got into it and started watching it. I'm like, oh, they're going to go a while. They got a lot of people in this thing.
Right.
And there's definitely a handful of really great moments. I will say my favorite moment in the whole video. I don't really care for him as a person. And now that Dan Snyder's gone, he's probably the worst owner in the NFL, Jim Irsay.
Yes.
But like him sitting there in the waiting room talking about, it's this part right here where he's talking about how he was in Jerry Maguire is probably my favorite part in the entire like video.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a great part. I loved Mike McDaniel just like saying F you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like it's so weird to me with how like cookie cutter ESPN is. But the Mannings come in and they're just like, yeah, do whatever you want. Whatever. Like,
yeah,
Are
make it work.
Are the Manning brothers, are they like probably the funniest, most easygoing former quarterbacks of all time?
I mean, I can't think of any two that I enjoy watching. Like, so
Right. They just seem like such a delight.
Right. Full disclosure, I'm a massive Chiefs fan, as you can see by Casey Wolf. We're all pretty big. I mean, Tom's a Lions fan, but we'll get into that.
I'll save my thoughts.
Massive Chiefs fan. Peyton Manning was just a thorn in my side. Like, even when he played for the Colts, like I think about like the 2003 divisional playoff game against the Colts, where like that was probably before we had Patrick Mahomes. In my lifetime, probably the best Chiefs team we had was that early 2000s Chiefs team with Trent Green and then also Coach Ramil. Like, and that I remember that playoff game specifically. Just we couldn't beat Peyton. And then a few years down the road, Peyton then is now a member of the Denver Broncos. And just they're winning constantly and we're losing constantly. So I just hated Peyton Manning so much as a fan of the Chiefs. And then he retired and then he goes and does all this like great stuff. And it's so funny and it's so enjoyable. And like I've done a complete 180 on Peyton Manning. But I feel like if he was still in the league winning and causing me headaches, then I would still hate him. But
I think they're the most unsuspecting that they're actually hilarious.
Mhm.
Like, obviously they had their SNL hits and they were great on that. But like Travis Kelce, personality, always let it show. Like these guys were as vanilla as they come while they played. And now
They're playing
afterwards,
James.
they're freaking hilarious.
Well,
They're
I like
so
it.
good at it.
I think what makes them funny is that they're still vanilla. Like they're still very like they're not like huge big personalities. They're still pretty like
Right.
basic.
And they're
Regular
still
guys.
like their acting skills are still a little, like if you watch
Yeah.
the video, it's still
Right.
kind of
They're like your best friend's dad growing up.
Yeah.
Just like regular dudes.
but
With like the occasional dad joke.
they've obviously got an insanely great sense of humor, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it also plays that they're brothers and they just pick on each other, or at least Eli like picks on Peyton the entire time, which is funny because he's the younger brother. So
I think it's especially before like I'll come out and say I don't know why people. Oh, well, I know the reasons why like people in Kansas City hate Joe Buck. Like I get it, but like I really like Joe Buck and I love Troy Aikman, and they were they've been probably my favorite broadcast duo for the NFL for years. And now they do Monday Night Football, which is great. Like it's great to have those guys on Monday Night Football because it's such a marquee brand and you need like the best to do it. And I think they are the best. So it makes it tough, in my opinion, the decision of like, do I want to watch the Manning cast or do I want to watch just the regular broadcast? Where like when they started doing the Manning cast and it was like, who was it? It was like Steve Levy.
yeah.
And like
Brian Greasy.
Yeah, Brian Greasy and Louis Riddick. I love Louis Riddick.
Right.
But the other two guys, no, I don't want to bash them at all. They're good at what they do, but like not like I don't want to like listen to that.
They're not an appeal to watching the game.
Right. Or like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, I feel like very much are. So it makes it harder. But yeah, that's why I'm kind of glad they don't do the Manning cast every week.
Right. And like if the Chiefs, as stated, Chiefs fan, if they're playing, I'm watching the regular screening. Like I don't need the extra going on during the game for my team. I'm dialed in, I'm watching. But if it's like, Titans, Jaguars, give me the Manning cast.
Yeah. I also think with Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, like when the Chiefs were in Super Bowl 54, they called the game. And so like to me, like that elevates them because that was like the first Super Bowl we won. And so anytime I hear them, I'm like, yeah, Super Bowl 54.
Despite what Kansas City people say, Joe Buck's the greatest. And just because you're so used to listening to your own guys all season and then one guy's having a great World Series, and so he has to talk about it.
Yeah.
And now you hate him. Like, let's think about it for a little bit.
Yeah.
But
let's try to be as unbiased as possible. I know it's hard,
but neither here nor there.
Yeah. Well, cool. Mob. Good, my man.
Good.
Let's move on to Tom. Tom, what's your good of the week?
Oh man. So I don't know if you guys have heard me talk about this at all. And I don't even know if you're familiar with the show that much. But The Wire on HBO.
Is that
guys? It's
Sunday
just getting
night?
better and better.
Yeah,
is that on Sunday
when does
night?
that come on? When do the new episodes?
You can choose to watch it on Sunday nights if you prefer, but we choose to watch it every night because it's completely available to us. It is just getting ratcheted up how good it is.
What season
we just started season 4.
Okay.
And are we doing spoilers? Like I know it's pretty under the radar show.
I mean,
but
I
have
feel
you
like
seen it?
Have I seen it?
I mean,
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Okay,
I only
you've
got
seen
through
it.
like the first 3 seasons.
Oh, gross.
oh, you only made it for the first 3. Wow, that's
I'm pretty sure the
sad.
4th is the best, if I'm remembering correctly. Is this the one with the kids?
Yeah.
This is the
And
best season.
Prez is like a teacher. But the end of season 3, when a very pivotal character is taken out by, well, I want to say names, but I don't
Look,
know.
okay, hold on.
Laura and I are watching it.
Stop.
Our jaws dropped.
Tom.
Go ahead.
Disclaimer. If you haven't seen The Wire and you are planning to watch it and you don't want it spoiled, just fast
Turn
forward.
off the show now.
Fast forward.
Yeah, fast forward.
Okay, Tom, go ahead. You're allowed to spoil now.
But when they take out Stringer Bell, did not see it coming.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
No one's
But
safe.
And that was like the first time I was like, actually, like, no, the first time when I realized no one was safe was when they killed Wallace.
Right.
But then Stringer Bell happened. It's just like, it's anybody's game. And it's just, I don't know. It's like the most realistic depiction of like law enforcement and like the drug scene of like any show I've ever watched. Not that like I have any experience with any of those worlds, but like, it's not this action-packed show. It's like nothing's like blowing up. There's not a lot of car chases. It's just like cops working details, like trying to build a case. And it's just so fascinating. And the acting is superb. The writing's amazing. I can't speak enough about it.
Yeah. Like for anybody listening or watching this, if you don't follow the Cineboys podcast, which we recommend you do, we recommend you follow all the Cork Bats podcasts, including this one, and also Doing Lines with guest Kyle Brant this week. Yeah, Tom has been talking about The Wire for like over a month now.
Long time.
The man is
Some might say
passionate
too
about
much.
The Wire.
I'm very passionate.
And we'll be like, Tom, have you seen The Bear? And he's like, I don't care about The Bear. The Wire.
I want The Wire.
Watching The Wire.
I can't wait when in 20 years Tom is talking about The Bear.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's going to happen. But
yeah.
Boys, I just can't get enough of this show.
Yeah. Well, it's a great
so
show.
much.
It's stood the test of time, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking about that
shows.
last night. Like the only thing about it that's kind of like hilariously dated is like whenever they're talking about new technology.
Their
Mhm.
cell
the time.
phones.
Yeah. And they're talking about what's a text? That's crazy. It's just like, what are you talking about?
It's like a
Other than
conversation
that,
with my
like,
grandparents.
yeah, other than that, though, it's just like the fact that it is still this good of a show after 20 years for like someone who's like never seen it before, I just think is a testament to like the quality of writing, acting, everything about it.
The hardest thing for me watching the show was getting over Julius Campbell being a hard gangster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, you build up this idea of a guy, and then all of a sudden he's Avon Barksdale, and he's
Right.
just tough and mean and bad.
And I'm kind of sad that I haven't really seen him in much since this show.
He pops up every once in a while. He was in Creed, all the Creed movies.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, but it's not Julius. It's
Wood Harris. He's a great
Yeah.
actor. I love him.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I want to see him in more things.
Yeah, well, be sure to check out The Wire. Where can you find The
Mhm.
Wire, Tom?
HBO, No Limits.
No Limits. All right, check it out on Max. Oh, cool. Good, my man.
Yeah, very good.
All right, so my good of the week. It hasn't premiered yet. Another TV show. We're a few weeks away from the premiere. But have you guys seen any of the follow-up or promo for The Golden Bachelor?
Yeah.
Is this for the old people?
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of excited. Like, I've never cared about The Bachelor, but I kind of want to watch this.
I love, so like The Bachelor was kind of my foray back into like reality TV. Like it's been around forever, but I never really watched it until I started dating my wife. Because she loves it. And so I would watch it with her. And it's they do it for love, they say, but it's a game show. Like it's a competition. And I love reality competitions. So I'm not like the biggest, even to this day, like I don't follow it religiously, but I keep track of it. Like, I know who's the Bachelor in every season. I know who I don't like. But the idea of like doing it with people and they're like, I think they're in their like 60s and 70s. I don't know how.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
think
know
The Bachelor is like 71.
Hang on, let me see. What's his name?
Gary something? He looks like a Gary.
He looks like a Gary.
Gary.
Jerry it's Gerry. Jerry or Gary?
I think that's Jerry.
Jerry Gergich.
Yeah.
He is, how old is Jerry? He is 71. And so all the ladies on the show are going to be probably in their 60s or 70s. Maybe we'll get some late 50s ladies in there. And like part of me wants to think like, oh, well, they'll be like more mature and like reserved and like not as crazy. But then the other part of me is like, if that were the case, ABC probably wouldn't have made this show.
No.
So I'm just excited to see like some straight up old
Yeah,
people
but like
drama.
is the old people drama going to be like, one they're all sitting together and one of them takes out their phone and listens to a video without any AirPods on in public, and so they're going to be fighting about that.
Or just is constantly doing speak to text
Right.
during the show.
My personal favorite.
No, that's not what I meant. No, stop.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay, Google.
Is that me?
What
Is that me
is-
doing that? Well, technically, you're not supposed to have your phones while you're on the show, but
That's
I
true.
hope they add that element in for just
Mhm.
this season.
Like, is filming going to have to stop because one of them throws out their hip? Like, this
And
is the kind of
Charlie's
stuff that would
on
get me
bed
to watch.
rest this week.
Well, I feel like there's like every season at the beginning of The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, they do like this season on The Bachelor.
Mhm.
And then there's
Oh,
always
my
like at
hip!
some point,
Yeah.
like they do like some sort of like clip in of like an ambulance showing up. Like every season, like something happens where like the med team is needed to be brought in.
What if
so-
they have to like bump up the the home visits because someone has to go on bed rest for breaking a hip?
Yeah.
Are they not?
They
Are
do
they
it
not
way too
allowed
early.
to bring in their life alerts? What if they've fallen and they can't get up?
That's a good
These are all
question.
great. And this is why I'm wanting to tune in.
I just
This
really
is
hope
when
that
it gets real.
I feel like we're posing these questions, and then I hope that ABC was kind of like doing the same thing, like really thinking this through. So
My favorite part about it is these ladies are probably, like you said, probably going to be in their 50s and 60s. So they're really not like that terribly
No.
old.
they're probably, and they probably did like,
But now,
like, yeah,
Medical
Yeah.
screenings.
now I really want like a golden bachelor, like really old people.
like 80s, 90s.
Like
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
get on that ABC.
Yeah, please do. I would want to watch that, but it'd all have to be filmed at like a retirement home, like the whole thing. And they'll just do like theme nights, like dinner in Paris, and they just like decorate the mess hall or whatever they
Bingo
call it.
night. Except
Oh, man.
the winner of bingo gets to go on a one-on-one date with the bachelor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm truly excited for Golden Bachelor. I can't wait. And it premieres on September 28th on ABC. Obviously we got a big promotion with ABC, so check that out. So yeah, good, Ken. Good. All right, let's get into our backs of the week. Mob, what's back for you, bro?
For me, it's good music. Good music is back. The
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, I've gotten like 3 albums that I'm so excited about. A couple weeks ago, we got a new Zach Bryan album, who's one of my favorite guys going right now. He's one of everyone's favorite guys going right now, it seems like. Yesterday, after the Chiefs' terrible loss, I was able to just get into my teenage drama queen self and listen to new Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. And then Tyler Childers came out with a new album too. So I'm just swimming in good music,
Yeah.
which was good
Noise.
because I didn't need to be listening to sports podcasts yesterday.
No, just avoid it.
I did,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
plague.
Oh, I just watched, like yesterday, I just watched SEC Network and I went over to like NFL Network for like 5 minutes. I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it right now. So I
Yeah.
understand. I'm
No.
glad that you had that outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, in regards to specifically Tyler Childers and Zach Bryan, I don't like country music. I really don't. Like it like pop country like makes my skin crawl. And I'm
Right.
sorry because Austin like hosts a morning radio country show in Chicago, our boss. So please don't fire me. But I don't like country music.
Mhm.
However, there are like a few artists going today, for whatever reason, they've broken through that like, facade that I have in regards to country music. Tyler Childers is definitely one of them.
Mhm.
Like his music is so good.
Mhm.
Zach Bryan for me, like kind of the same. I don't for me, like listening to Tyler Childers, I feel like I'm listening to something like I've never heard before.
Yeah, he's just like Kentucky, authentic Kentucky though. Like that's what it is about him. And then Zach Bryan, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't listen to for a while because I thought he was Luke Bryan.
Yeah,
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Very
I
confusing.
was just like, nah, that ain't me. And
Yeah.
then I don't know. Oh, he came out with the song with Maggie Rogers, and I was like, Maggie wouldn't do a song with Luke Bryan.
No.
And I listened to it, and I was like, oh, he's got some chops.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the
he's
same
good.
way. The pop country music that is played on the radio. I'm sorry.
Those
Just not-
a-holes
it's
who
not-
play that on the radio.
Like
Not my
stadium
thing.
country.
Not my thing. But there's like Zach Bryan, Sturgill Simpson, Tyler Childers, that vein. They're all in the
Mhm.
same vein, in my opinion. All day
It's
long.
it's like the new outlaw country. Like
Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
like I wouldn't outlaw's probably not the right word, but like if you listen to like outlaw country from like back in the
alternative
day-
country.
I mean, Zach Bryan did just get arrested.
I know that's true. I did see that.
What a
Zach
badass.
Bryan.
Wait, but what did he do?
I don't.
He mouthed off to a police officer.
Which is
It was very minimal.
yeah. It wasn't
I don't know
anything
why
like
that's-
crazy. Like,
He's
I think he
very
got pulled
apologetic
over.
for it.
Well,
So-
okay. I'll say this. I saw the video of Zach Bryan like explaining it. Like he didn't like tell what happened, but he said like he was in the wrong. Essentially, he's like, and he's like, basically he used the phrase, which I hate this phrase of like, this isn't the person that I am. Like,
Yeah.
this is not the person that I am. And I hate that phrase because it's like, well, obviously it is the person that
Yeah.
you are. It's okay to be apologetic and say like, that's not the person I want to be. I
Right.
get that. But anytime somebody says like, yeah, this is just not the person that I am. I'm like, yeah, well, you did it. So kind of is the person that you are. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's an outlaw. So
Yeah, he's an outlaw. It's fine, dude. Just lean into it, bro.
Yeah.
It's okay. Dude, your music's great. Nobody cares that much. And it's not like he was doing anything crazy. It's just, whatever. Anyways,
Sometimes we all mouth off.
sometimes we mouth off to police officers. It happens. Like I know Kevin does it all the time. He's not
all
here
the
to defend
time,
himself.
constantly.
Yeah. If I had $1 for every time
But he's-
Kevin got taken to jail.
But Kevin's a cute little twink boy, so he gets out of it.
Yeah. Flirts with the officers.
He mouths off, then flirts. It's all good.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Hey, well, Mob, good back, bro. Let's move on to Tom. Tom,
Yeah.
what do you got? What's back for you, bro?
So full disclosure, when I was going through this last night, I think I misunderstood what back really meant. So I've got something that's a little unsavory, but I think it's worth talking about still.
Sure.
It's probably a better ugly than anything.
So we'll give you 2 uglies this week.
No. I know how we can swing this for you. Go ahead.
Okay.
I was going to say, so earlier this week, we found out that Rotten Tomatoes has been, not necessarily Rotten Tomatoes itself, more like the PR firm that they use has been manipulating critic scores to get better reviews for like bad movies.
Mhm.
And apparently they've been doing it for like 5 years. And I just feel like I've been lied to for so long. And now I feel like I can't rely on Rotten Tomatoes like I used to. And that's
Yeah.
upsetting. Because that's
Yeah.
like my go-to.
So how
But-
we make this your back, they're getting rid of those things, and Rotten Tomatoes is
Is
back.
back. I hope so.
Yeah.
I want them to be back. I want them to be a reputable source again. But yeah, I was a little bummed out. Apparently, this PR firm named Bunker 15 said to pay as much as $50 for a single Rotten Tomatoes review. The payments, which aren't typically disclosed, are usually given to obscure critics who happen to be part of a pool tracked by Rotten Tomatoes. But Rotten Tomatoes does have like a rule that prohibits like paid reviews. They are against financial incentive, but this PR firm has been doing it for at least 5 years. And like, I guess the way it works is like there's like a legitimate system for like setting up directors with like journalists and like giving them positive reviews and that sort of thing. Like, I guess it happens like all the time, but I guess that this company's been, paying more unknown critics to like give better positive reviews for movies that like either didn't get a lot of wide traction or just are bad overall, but they want to get that score bumped up for them. So I don't know, just a little deceptive, I'd say.
Helps explain
Yeah.
Pixel score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
Does.
is
Yeah, because
like-
I've seen some reviews. It's just like 75. Really? That looks like a shitty movie.
Yeah. Like the reviews for fucking Renfield. God, I hated that
Yeah.
movie, dude. Like, and I saw I did not give it a good review on Cork Bats whenever I wrote that review, but the reviews for it were like kind of good, and I was like,
Yeah.
what? So maybe
Yeah.
that was that PR firm.
Pixels
Probably,
is sitting
yeah.
at an 18%, which is far too high.
Very high.
Yeah.
What's Renfield at?
Yeah.
Renfield,
Yeah, look that up real quick.
no
'cause I
way,
wanna-
no way to figure out.
no way. We don't have that
Yeah.
technology.
Nope.
Zero way.
Renfield has a 58%.
Okay, that seems right.
The
they
audience
went back
score
and-
is 79 though,
okay. So
but
Don't-
they're not
don't
paying
ever
the
trust the
audience.
audience.
But I don't think the audience scores really count that much. I think this is strictly like the quote unquote professional film critics that they've been
Right.
paying. So
yeah, 58
$50
still
bucks
seems
doesn't
high
seem
for-
like enough. So I don't
Yeah, that's-
know.
Who do I
That's
get
why-
in contact with? to
Is
get
this
Yeah.
why
that money?
Triangle of Sadness had a 72 and got an Oscar nomination? Is
Probably.
it Bunker 15? Because that's what I'm going to blame it on.
Yeah, I mean, Triangle of Sadness, not a
That movie was trash.
very accessible.
It
film.
looked boring.
It was
It's
trash. It's
It's
so
wild.
long. And like some of the scenes that people were like so excited about were like just so disgusting to me. Like
That's
I
weird.
didn't need to see people writhing around and vomit.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
gross. That's kind of
Yeah.
like how I felt about although Babylon didn't get as good of reviews as Triangle of Sadness, but people love Babylon. Then I watched Babylon. I was like, eh,
Why? Why'd you love it?
this is making me really uncomfortable. So yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, they cleared it up and now they're back. There you go.
Hopefully.
Tied it up.
Yeah.
But
Good
also,
Mhm.
if you like a movie, like it. If you don't like a movie, don't like it. Like, it's
Yeah.
okay. Opinions are fine.
It's okay
I've
to have an
been-
opinion.
I've been
Unless
trying to do that for years now. Just have my own opinions and thoughts on stuff.
Right.
you don't
I
like
can
it,
I
don't
can
act
think
like
your
you do.
opinion is wrong, and because my
Mhm.
opinion's always right, but like, you're
Right.
allowed your
I'm-
opinion too.
I'm batting 100 on my opinions.
Right.
Like I've never had a bad opinion.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
So, okay. Well, hey, Tom, good back, bro. Good back. And then my back of the week. The Colorado Buffaloes are back, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm officially on the Colorado Buffalo hype train. I'm on the train, and I have given my ticket to the ticket taker because that's how trains work, I think, still. Okay, side note, as far as like the getting on the train and then you give the ticket once the train's in motion, I feel like that's not a very good system.
Yeah, what happens if you don't? Do they just
Right.
like throw you out and you might
Yeah,
die?
what are you going to do? The train's
Maybe.
already
I don't
moving.
know.
I don't know. Somebody should talk to Amtrak and get that figured out.
I think. Yeah. Never
Yeah,
mind.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was on a train last summer and they took it before we got on. So
Oh, okay, good. So they fixed
they
it.
So we've
changed it,
evolved.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah,
society.
we're good. But of course, if you've been living under a rock this past week and you have no idea what's going on with the University of Colorado won one game last year, a single game. Terrible football team. And then they hired Coach Deion Sanders, little known coach,
Never heard of him
from
before.
Jackson State. He's just on his come up, with Jackson State. And they hired him for the University of Colorado hired him as their head coach. Basically, like gutted the team, used the transfer portal to his advantage, which
Brought Jackson State to Colorado.
Yeah, there's a lot of implications in regards to this situation in Colorado, which I think ultimately is good. You'll get a lot of opinions on like the state of college football in regards to NIL, in regards to the transfer portal, stuff like that. You're going to get a lot of varying opinions. In my opinion, we're on the start of something good. I do like the idea that you can have somebody go into a school that has won, coming off a terrible season. And you have somebody like Deion Sanders who, has a lot of personality and people want to play for him. He seems to be a good coach, and essentially you can rebuild a team in 1 year without having to do just heavy recruiting for like 5 years straight and then be able to put something on the field that's decent. Which a lot of people don't like that, but for me, it's like, I'm good with it. Like the idea that possibly,
Well,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say the people who don't like that are the people who still are living with the belief that college sports is not a profession.
Yeah.
That those kids are there for an education. And
right.
Once you take off those rosy colored glasses and realize that these schools are making millions of dollars off of these kids who are just students playing sports.
Student athletes.
No, this is a business.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm fine with it, because college sports is a business and it makes a lot of money for a lot of people, and these kids should make some of that money too.
Yeah.
There's something inherently wrong, in my opinion, about you kind of said it, like universities making all of this money literally off of these kids. Like, yes, they're playing football. Yes, they're part of the team. Yes, they're part of the university, whatever. But like essentially, for so long, these kids are like, well, we'll give you a scholarship and we'll like pay for your meals, but we get to use your face to make money. Like we get to use your name to make money for our school.
Like an exorbitant amount more than the worth of us giving you a scholarship and food.
Yeah, agreed. I will say that like I feel with NIL in general, there needs to be some tweaking to it. Like I don't think it's a perfect out of the box system.
Never going to be perfect.
True. But like, it does seem, I feel like this might, I'm very pro NIL. I do feel like though, that it does seem kind of lopsided as far as like, money going to, well, I don't know. That might be kind of a bad take, but like money going to like certain players.
Well,
like
it's a state
millions
issue
of
right
dollars.
now. That's the thing, is it's a state issue. So like Missouri has very lenient NIL rules, which is helping them with recruiting, because the moment you sign, you can start making money. So these high schoolers are making hundreds of thousands of dollars before they even step foot on a collegiate field. That's a huge advantage to Missouri.
Right. And
so
the other thing about that too is that with that rule, like not all states have that. Missouri is one of them, where essentially is if you sign with the state school, you can start making money in high school. But the you don't have it's not even you have to sign. You just have to, I think it's in like, state your intent essentially. So like Williams Ranieri, the recruit for Missouri, that just stated his intent a few weeks ago.
I'm pretty sure he signed though.
But it's not like he can still get out of it and go to like Oklahoma. I think. I don't know. Maybe I should have done a little bit more.
Yeah, I don't know fully. And there's gotta be like, I mean, if you're signing these deals with places, they've got to be like, well, you have, this is because you're playing for Missouri. So like there has to be some, at least I would think businesses would cover themselves in those, those aspects. But either way, NIL, it's a good step because players should be paid.
Yes, agreed. It's a good first step. Players should be paid, especially when it's a situation where essentially money is being made off your name and likeness. Like that you need to get money for that. That seems illegal that they don't. But all this to say, Colorado, are they? I think they're back. Like we're talking
definitely
like
back
90s championship Colorado. Like
nice.
I mean, was it his pregame speech, Dion? Like that came out after the game. If you watch that and don't want to run through a brick wall afterwards, I don't know. I don't know what gets you excited. Like, it's at the end, he just goes, play my theme music. And they all just go nuts. And I'm like, that is so stupid, but also
go watch this.
It works. And I love it for you.
There's some freaking old hat Southern college football fan who's like, that's not okay. But it's like, dude, fucking the kids love him. He's a good coach.
Yeah. And he obviously loves his players. Like, and believes in them and trusts them. Like he's an advocate for them. It's not like,
good.
A lot of it is the Dion show, and Dion loves himself some Dion, right?
Yeah.
But he's always been that way. Like everyone's always known that about Dion. But he also obviously loves his players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but I feel like you need a little bit of that to be a good coach.
Yeah.
It's his personality is great for college football. It's great for Colorado, and they wore those iced out unis last week that were just.
Yeah, just a few more things on Colorado before we move on. Travis Hunter, got to be in the Heisman conversation. I mean, it's 1 week. I get it. But Travis Hunter is a stud. Like, that interception he caught. So there was a video. I think that another part of what's playing into my excitement about this is that it was TCU. And I live in Texas, and I hate every Texas school. Like, anytime a Texas school gets disappointed, it's just like, or embarrassed. I love it. So like TCU coming off of a horrible national championship appearance, they're ranked 17th in the nation. The game is in Fort Worth. It's at TCU. And there's video like before the game of a bunch of just like TCU dipshits, like fans just like yelling at Travis Hunter and being like, you're not that good. You're not that good. And literally where these kids were, where they were sitting was right in front of where Travis Hunter had that interception. And then some guy was like filming on his phone, like on the sideline. He turns around. He's like, all right, who said it? Who said it? And all these kids are just like grumpy little ungrateful, rich Texas kids. Anyways, hopefully I don't get into trouble for that.
TCU administration's going to come to your house.
Yeah, they might. They might come after me. They might come down to Austin. They won't. They're too scared. So yeah, Colorado, they're back, baby. All right, good back, Ken. Good back. Let's get into our uglies of the week. What do you say?
Yeah.
Should we all just go at once?
Yeah, I don't think that'd be great content, but we'll get through all of them. I'll promise you that. Mob. What's ugly, dude? What's bugging you?
Ugly. The Juwan Taylor haters.
Yeah.
Not looking good for you guys, is it?
No.
So Thursday night, Chiefs Lions game. The entire game, there was this discourse on the Chiefs right tackle of, was he lined up all right? Was he false starting every single play? I'm not going to get into the alignment. That is a little sketchy, but hey.
I don't understand it either.
So
as well as I think I should.
Here's the thing. With the alignment, you're to be on the line, your helmet needs to be in line with the center's belt. And so looking at it, it looks like he's a little off. Here's the thing. I'm sure he is talking to refs. One, if he was off, the refs would call it. I don't care what the guy in the booth who's getting paid by NBC and not the NFL is saying. They're going to call it. It's on the Lions to point it out if it's really bothering them. But the alignment's not the thing. The fact that they were saying this guy's false starting every play. The one they called on him, 100%
Probably
false
was,
start.
yeah.
100%. But hey, look, there's video out there.
Yeah, look at this.
And maybe everyone else on the line is just late. I think we as a society are so trained to watching football in one way, which is where everyone moves on after the ball is snapped.
Mm-hmm.
And you have some of these guys like Juwan Taylor and Lane Johnson out there who have mastered getting the start off when the ball is snapped. That we are too stupid as humans to calibrate and say, actually, he's just really good at timing the snap.
Yeah. Like we're so used to seeing the ball before anybody moves. Where
Right.
in this, what I got pulled up right now, you can clearly see that the ball is moving at the same time he starts moving. So it's not a false start.
Right.
And I'll just be fully transparent. Like, I know there's always the talk of oh, the Chiefs get every call. Now, I remember, so Juwan Taylor played for Jacksonville last year. We played a game against Jacksonville in the regular season, and I was noticing it too when he was playing for Jacksonville, and I was pissed because I was like, that's a false start. When are they going to finally call a false start? And it's like, then you see the video of okay, well, he's actually moving for the most part. Now, he got called for a false start.
Which that one was definitely a false start.
Right. But he's moving at the same time that the ball is moving. So that's not a false start.
Right.
But
I love how angry it makes. Like you had these NFL aggregators, Pro Football Talk, Dov Kleinman out there saying, oh, look, they're letting him away with a false start.
Yeah.
Like, no. If it were a false start, as much crap as we give officials, if it were a false start, they would call it. And guess what they did when it was? So, you guys are looking stupid. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Get a mob. Yeah.
You just don't know ball.
You don't know ball, bro. I would say if I wasn't a Chiefs fan, I'd be pretty pissed. But we've got the video evidence to show that it's not a false start.
If you weren't a Chiefs fan, you should be pissed that your right tackle sucks worse than ours.
Yeah. Which, all that to say, we're going to talk a lot about this game because I know we've each for our uglies. There's a lot to be discussed. I don't know if you saw my video on Twitter and Instagram after that game. Pretty upset. But there's a lot of ugly. But all that to say, G's offensive line is
it's so good.
Pretty good.
Yikes.
It's so good.
I was talking to my wife about it. She was like, what are you talking about? They almost touched him. And I was like, almost is the key word there. He had 4 seconds on every snap to make a decision.
And it's funny because the O-line was actually decent last year. It was pretty good.
Right. It wasn't bad.
And they upgraded it to this just, it was, yeah. As a former, I played offensive line in high school, but it's fun to watch a good line.
Yeah.
Just dominate because Aiden Hutchinson's really good.
He's really good.
Juwan Taylor allowed 2 hurries.
Yeah.
That's it. he would have eaten Andrew Wiley's lunch.
Yeah,
And
it's an upgrade.
We had
for
friends
sure.
who were upset that we let Andrew Wiley go. So I just, yeah, the line was beautiful and I loved it. And I'm looking to buy a Juwan Taylor shirt just to piss people off.
Yeah, it'd be a good jersey to have.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, good ugly. All right, so let's move on to Tom. Tom, what is your ugly of the week?
You know what, boys? My heart is always with Kansas City. For years now, there's been talk about how I'm such a huge Lions fan. But honestly, I just said, hey, I'm going to start following them just because I was born in Detroit. I've got a little affinity for the town and the teams. I've never claimed to be like a huge Uber fan, so I just want to clear that air. I do feel a little conflicted, you know.
Don't you have a Lions jersey?
I'm surprised.
That was a gift.
Wait, which jersey is it? Who is
It's
it?
a Stafford jersey.
Oh,
I got it. Who was my loan officer at the time? I can't remember his name. Blake something. Anyway,
Yeah,
we got switched
use
up,
names.
and he somehow knew I liked the Lions, so he and like his TC bought me a Matt Stafford jersey.
Yeah.
It was a really nice gift. Fine
I'm
quality.
surprised. I'm surprised you're not leaning into it today. Like I was like partially expecting you to be wearing the Lions beanie, maybe the jersey.
I can't do it. I just will always be more of a Chiefs fan. The Lions thing and Tigers thing, it's just like a little fun me thing that I do. It is good to see a win. I think Dan Campbell's a great coach.
Oh yeah, I don't think any disagreeing with that.
But so yeah, I am bummed this week that they lost, and I thought it was. I feel like it's an ugly loss because I feel like they should have Chiefs should have done a lot better than they did. But I feel like that also just shows you how valuable that guys like Travis Kelce really are.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Mahomes, I feel like we kind of saw this Thursday night, but I feel like Mahomes can really only carry the team so much on his own. And I feel like not having someone as crucial as Kelce really kind of showed that. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Those are just like my general thoughts.
Let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
Let's
It's
talk
probably
about
good
it.
that we get this all off our chest.
Look,
Chiefs
look.
fans.
Let's be blatantly clear. We are all Chiefs fans. But
Yeah.
being unbiased, the Chiefs beat the Chiefs on Thursday night.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Literally, there are 3 different plays that if they do not happen, the Chiefs probably win.
Yeah, I think they just got in their own way.
If Kadarius Toney makes a catch, just one.
One
Or,
of those
hey,
3 catches.
Or
yeah.
hey, maybe if he doesn't even just let it go through his hands and bats it down and they don't get a defensive touchdown, they win. Like
Yeah.
there's so many different ways that the Chiefs beat themselves. If Andy Reid actually, like, I'm a huge Andy Reid truther, love him, one of the greatest coaches, but it was a poorly coached game offensively on Thursday. Like you punted at, I forget that, like a 4th and 3 when you should have gone for it. And then later on in the game, it's 4th and 20 and you're going for it. Like there were just some very boneheaded mistakes.
Okay. So the 4th and 20, it's like 4th and 25, I think.
It became 4th and 25 because of the false start.
Yeah.
Regardless.
Yeah.
I'm actually, at first I was like baffled by that call. I will say that I've kind of come around on it.
That's not the argument, whether you go for it there or not. The argument is that you decide to go for it there and you didn't do it when you should have earlier as well. Like, no, you have Patrick Mahomes. Also,
yeah.
At what point are we going to get over the fact that at one point in his career, Patrick Mahomes' kneecap was on the side of his knee, and we're just going to freaking QB sneak it on 4th and 1? Like, it worked 97% of the time.
92%.
You have a guy on your team 92% of the time whose podcast is based off of 92% of the time of this working. And yet every time you put Blake Bell down there and you do something tricky or you try to sneak him and he doesn't know how to do it, but Patrick Mahomes would make it every single time. I'm so sick and tired of the TE sneak. Give me the quarterback sneak.
Oh my God. That is
Wow.
I think that is the wildest,
That's passion.
most passionate take ever
love
in
it.
the history of Corked Bats. Like, not just
Ugh.
this podcast. I'm saying, like, ever in Corked Bats. We're gonna have to flip that.
I can't do it anymore, Andy. Like, yeah, he lost his kneecap in one game once. It's not going to happen every time. I promise you. Jalen Hurts does it all the time and scores so many freaking touchdowns doing it.
Yeah.
And I get it. Jalen Hurts power lifts, but I think Patrick Mahomes probably power lifts too.
I think so. The Eagles have mastered the QB sneak better than any team possibly in history. It's so
Correct.
especially when you're watching in the Super Bowl and you're a Chiefs fan, they keep doing it. It just pisses you off. I will say that, like, I don't know. I'm with you 100% in the fact that, like, we need to get over that. Like, we need to get better at doing a QB sneak. I can't stand, like, and it was in our text thread the other night. Every time they go to that tricky dicky direct tight end snap, possibly to do the tight end sneak, which has never worked ever. And the Chiefs have tried to do it. It never works. And then this time they tried to, like, hey, let's make it look like that. And then we're going to run the ball. And then it blew up. It was terrible. I don't know why. Like, again, kind of going back to the offensive line conversation, our offensive line is really good. I don't know why, but it just seems like we have that really good squad. They just can't put together a good sneak. So I don't think it's a matter of, like, who's doing the sneak, whether it's Patrick Mahomes or Blake Bell. Like, I just don't think they can do it. Well, and that's why they try to.
You know what would really be a trick play at this point? The QB sneak. No
really
one is ever expecting the Chiefs to ever do it. So just do it. Just nut up, Andy. I love you. Nut up. QB sneak. Like,
don't
Tom
even ask,
Brady.
just do it.
Tom Brady was QBing sneaking at the age of 45 or whatever he was last year. Like, it's time. He's not gonna dislocate his kneecap every single time. And if he is, then that's weird, right? Like, that's just weird. He gets hit so many other ways. Like, it's time. It's time.
Yeah, figure it out. I'll say too, just kind of to wrap up the conversation of Thursday night's game. There was something on the internet where, like, on Twitter, it said, like, and you kind of alluded to it, Mom, where it was like, if Kadarius Toney had batted down every pass that was thrown his way, we would have won, which is true because he didn't catch a single one. And the one that got screwed up on that pick six was, like, in his hands and bounced out. Yeah. So I think the ugly for me in regards, well, this isn't my ugly, but, like, to add on to Tom's ugly of this game, the wide receivers are just, I really want to be careful here because when the other night when I was texting in our Chiefs text thread, like, I was super, like, angry and upset at Kadarius Toney. I'm going to go ahead and put out a prediction right now, and you can clip this and we can save it and you can show it to me later and laugh in my face. I think by, like, week 3 or 4, we will have completely forgotten about this game because Kadarius Toney's going to step up in a big way. That's my theory.
And here's the thing. Too soon do we forget that the Chiefs do not win last year's Super Bowl without one Kadarius Toney.
True.
They don't. That punt return changed the game. Like, if he's not on that field, they don't win. So, like, it's funny. There were tweets of, like, and the Chiefs traded a third for or whatever for Kadarius Toney. It's like, yeah, they won the Super Bowl because of it. Great trade. Like, you'd make that trade every single time. They traded a 3rd round pick for a Super Bowl win. Great.
Yep.
Done.
Like, let's do it every year.
We forget that this guy can be. We have seen him be dynamic, and we have seen him make these plays. And, you know, maybe playing after missing all of preseason was not a good idea. Yeah. Maybe it just wasn't a good idea.
Everyone just has a bad night every once in a while.
So all that to say, Kenny, I like your take.
Thank you.
Yes.
I also think that, you've been hurt the entire preseason. And then on top of that, you're going to be leaned on in a way that you probably weren't expecting to be leaned on with the absence of Travis Kelce.
Right. And that's the other thing is it happened, like, at the very end of the last practice of the week, the Kelce injury.
Right.
Like, so when one of your big pieces of your game plan goes out and you don't have time to practice without him, like, what you're going to do without him, I think that also played into the part of why the offense looked a little disoriented.
Sure.
Even though at times it also looked like, yep, the Chiefs, they're there still. Like Patrick Mahomes was still Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
But
Still looked good. Yeah. They'll figure it out. I'm not very worried. It's
They'll
all
be
going to
fine.
work out fine. It's just weird. It's the first time since 2014 that the Chiefs have lost their opening game. And we're not used to that. So anyways,
it's just, for me, there were so many ways that they shouldn't have lost, and yet they still did, and that's what bugs me.
Yeah.
Like I would have much preferred just to get our butts rammed out of that stadium.
dude. Yeah, I always prefer to have my butt rammed.
I know.
Yeah.
I think we all agree.
All in agreement. Well, Tom, good ugly, bro. Way to bring the
Thanks.
ugly this week. So yeah, my ugly, round us out. Kind of Chiefs related, and well, it is Chiefs related. Not on the field though; it's off the field. Of course, here we are. It is, we're in the midst of week 1. We had our first game Thursday night. We're recording this on a Saturday. This should be out on Saturday too. But tomorrow is the first Sunday of the NFL. We get some Red Zone back. Can't wait. Very excited to check out Red Zone tomorrow. Chris Jones is still holding out. We are still waiting to have Chris Jones back on the field. Now, I will say this. Chris Jones was at the game on Thursday, which was a weird play, sitting in between his agents, the Katz Brothers, which that is actually my ugly of the week is the Katz Brothers. And I'm going to get into that here in a second. It looked really weird. It seemed really weird. He got called out on social media, which I think is justified. Like, if you're holding out, don't show up to the stadium.
Well,
Right.
also, if you were just the day before saying in an interview that you're holding out because a hold-in would be more of a distraction, and then you show up as a fan to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
It was weird. I like Chris Jones. I understand kind of the holdout, but I also don't think he's getting represented very well. And here's why. His agents are the Katz brothers, Michael and Jason Katz. They are they seem really shady. And basically we were sent this, and it's a Reddit thread. I'm going to go ahead and just say it right now. It's a Reddit thread that I'm getting this information from. So take it with a grain of salt. But I just want to go through the Katz client list real quick and just get an idea of how this is playing into this holdout. So Michael Katz clients list. This is his entire clients list for just Michael Katz. Micah Kaiser, out of the league. Alfred Morris, out of the league. Zach Brown, out of the league. Scooby Wright, out of the league. Fred Ross, out of the league. That's his client list. And then you have Jason Katz's client list, which is Chris Jones, and then Jordan Mason, Chandon Sullivan, Keith Kirkwood, Byron Pringle, former Chief, Alfred Morris out of the league, Chris Thompson out of the league, Cyril Grayson out of the league, T.Y. Hilton out of the league. And so of Jason Katz's, so the first few that I mentioned, they're all still playing, but Chris Jones is on a 4-year, $80 million deal. And then Jordan Mason is his second highest contract as an agent. He's with the 49ers on a 3-year, $2.57 million rookie contract. So as far as what they actually get paid as agents, pull this up. Total sports, or no. Here we go. This is what we want. 2023 to 2024 projected earnings. Jordan Mason, they'll make $26,000. Chandon Sullivan, they're going to make $36,000. Olamide Zacchaeus, they're going to make $36,000. So, I mean, not a lot. They don't have a very deep client list, and who they have, they're all playing pretty small contracts. So to me, what this kind of signals is that they're pushing really hard to get this deal where Chris Jones essentially is getting paid $32-33 million a year, because it's going to be their main source of income. And if they don't get this deal, then essentially they're screwed. And so it just seems really shady. And I don't know if Chris Jones has different representation that we even have a holdout at this point. Now, granted, Chris Jones, in my opinion, probably the best, last year at least, the best defensive player in the NFL. I don't know if you can. I think you can make arguments for other people. But like, if we're just looking at last year as a sample size, I think Chris Jones is probably the best. So he deserves a raise. I'll give him that. He deserves to get paid. But the number that is being put in his ear by possibly the Katz Brothers, and again, I don't know this for sure. This is just my theory. I think that's what's causing a lot of issues. And I think Chris Jones needs different representation.
These guys definitely look like they drive around in a Lincoln Town car with license plates that say bada bing, bada boom.
Yep.
Like they give me that kind of vibe.
Yeah. It definitely looked like he got roped into like the mafia when they were showing Chris Jones on the screen the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am in the boat that Chris Jones deserves to be paid more money. I am in the boat that I think that it should be the Chiefs who pay him more money to an extent.
Yes.
I am also in the boat that, like, what are you doing? This makes no sense to get what you want. Like, I was listening because I live in Kansas City, so I was listening to sports radio yesterday, and Nate Taylor of The Athletic was sitting there talking to the guy on 610, Carrington Harrison, and they were just talking, and it's kind of like at this point, okay, you've made your point, you've lost a game check, you have all these fines, like at what point does it become financially significant for you to be missing this? Like you're kind of missing out on the amount of money that you're asking for. And also, you just sat in a booth and watched your boys lose a heartache of a game.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do you just say, as a sign of good faith, I'm going to come in, I'm going to help we shouldn't lose at Arrowhead on opening night with our banner being dropped. That should have never happened. If I were there, I could have helped win the game. Like, I could have created a fumble. I'm going to show up, sign of good faith, keep negotiating. Like, at what point does that happen? Because if he doesn't show up for week 2, he's like, if I'm Travis Kelce, probably one of the most underpaid players in the league. And like, this is putting words in his mouth and feelings. I'm just saying, if I were him and Chris Jones doesn't show up for week 2, he's saying that my contract is more important than you and the team and winning. And look, if that's his prerogative, that's great. I'm not going to judge you for that. But if I'm a teammate, I'm going to feel a little slighted, especially one who's Travis Kelce, who knows he could probably be making more and is taking a sacrifice for the team and for the greater good. Like, at some point, what is this about? If it's all about money, that's, again, your prerogative. I am not about taking money out of players' pockets. Like, I think it's funny when people are like, they shouldn't pay him because so the billionaire owners can keep more of their money. Like, really, let's think about this, guys, because whatever money doesn't go to him goes to the billionaire owner who doesn't. So get him his money, but at some point you also signed a 4-year contract and this is year 4 and you're losing out on money. It doesn't make sense financially. So you're obviously getting bad information.
Right. Yep. Agreed. It
just doesn't at this point, it doesn't logically make sense. It doesn't.
I agree with you. And I think a lot of it not making sense has to do with the fact that the Katz brothers are desperate.
Dummies.
And they,
for sure.
Like, literally, I'm looking at it right now. Their total income from all their clients not named T.Y. Hilton.
Well,
hold on. Sorry. Total revenue over a 5-year period is just $4,609,268. So, like, and Chris Jones represents 42% of that.
For sure.
So,
and like, it's also obvious with the fact that last weekend Pro Football Talk comes out and saying, like, hey, per source, this is what he's actually asking for. The new money, all this stuff about new money not counting or whatever, which is totally fabricated and obviously fed line by line to him by the Katz brothers.
Yeah.
Because if you follow the trail, whenever there's a player who doesn't have an agent, the first person to rip him is Pro Football Talk. Why is that? It's because Pro Football Talk doesn't get any of his information from the league. He gets it from the agents.
Mm-hmm.
That's his source every time. So it's so blatant what they're doing. And it was such faulty information. And I'm tired of it. Chris Jones, please come back.
Let's come back.
You.
Dude.
Yeah. We love you.
We want you. We want you,
Baby,
bro.
come back.
Start thinking logically.
Yeah, maybe fire your agents.
And we know you're listening to this episode.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. It's the
What-
second longest running podcast in Cork Bats. Although, yeah, never mind. Technically, I think there's Austin's podcast, which might come back. We'll see. But the show. With Austin Huff. Because that's technically been around the longest. And then Cineboys. And then this one, which took coming off of a 16th month hiatus.
Hey, Kenny,
And
name a woman.
Sheryl Crow.
Yeah, okay.
Easy, dude. Easy. All right. Well, hey, that's our good, back, and ugly of the week. And you know what? Honestly, this wouldn't really be the junk drawer if we didn't end out our episode with a Bowdoin College football preview. The team of the Junk Drawer podcast and Cork Bats. Let's just go ahead and say it. Number one team of Cork Bats. And Bowdoin College. There's a debate. Is it Bowdoin or Bowdoin? How do we pronounce it? Because I've always been confused. Back when 80 and Austin did the show, they would say both. I don't know what it is.
Bowdoin?
Bowdoin. How you doing?
How'd y'all doing?
Or at Bowdoin State. We're just Bowdoin stuff.
Bowdoin crazy shit, you know? So
College.
the Polar Bears have not started their season yet. They actually start next Saturday. Let's see. Check out our schedule. The 2023 Bowdoin Polar Bears. Our first game is it's at Hamilton. So
Alexander Hamilton.
We're talking Division III football, baby. So let's just, since we haven't played a game yet, let's just go ahead, and I think it would be good if we just did a quick preview and then gave our predictions on the record. So last year, 2022, Bowdoin Polar Bears, the final record for them was they went 3-6. Not a great record. I will say though, in 2020 they didn't play due to COVID, but 2021 they only won one game. So if you think about it, 2021 they went 1-8. 2022 they go 3-6. What are we thinking as far as let's just give our predictions. Final record for the Bowdoin Polar Bears for 2023. I'll go first. I'll say this. I think obviously steadily getting better. If you just look at the stats, 1 win to 3 wins. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say this year, 5 wins. I say they go, 5-4. Tom, what are you thinking?
I was thinking 4 wins. So 4 and 5.
4 wins. So
Wow.
get one more win added on there.
Wow.
So Tom's thinking they're going to go 4 and 5. And then Mob, what are you thinking?
I guess I'm the only true fan. As a Cork Bats person, huge fan of Bowdoin Polar Bears. What are we talking about? 9-0. This is the year.
9-0.
This is the year.
Yeah,
Wow.
this is the year.
All right.
Wow.
I have
Maybe
faith. And until they lose a game, I'm right.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe
So-
we should
They're
get
undefeated. Point.
maybe we should get Butt Soup's prediction. Oh,
Can we get him on the horn?
That seems
know
like
what?
a whole deal. We'll get it next
yeah.
time.
We'll ask him next time. Okay, so Bowdoin College. Rob's saying 9-0. I'm saying 5-4. Tom's saying 4 and 5. So we'll
Can't
next
believe you
time.
guys.
Next time we'll give you an update. I think by the time we do our next episode, they will have played at least one game. So we'll give you a good update on that. But that's it for the Junk Drawer. We're happy to be back. I know got some new faces here on the pod, but it's one that we've been wanting to bring back. Cork Bats has been wanting to bring back for a while. And it's just it's a good time, man. You enjoy it. So be sure to follow Cork Bats on Twitter and Instagram at Corked Bats. Also check out corkedbats.com. And I think we end this thing with how do we end it?
I don't know.
Before we end, I gotta ask you guys something. Have either of you guys seen intern Will around here anywhere?
Where is he?
Because
I'm still waiting on my coffee, man.
I am too. I placed that order weeks ago, and that
Where
SOB
is he?
hasn't brought me anything.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Right.
we'll get.
Well,
I'll talk to
intern Will.
Austin.
I love my
Maybe
coffee.
was he just a summer intern and now he's back in school?
Oh, damn it. That's probably right.
Yeah. But I mean, still, you should have got your coffee weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyways.
shit, these kids. What hard
All
work
right. So I
is.
think we end it with, I think it goes ahoy.
Ahoy.
Okay. Ahoy.